PS Viters? Yes, it is I, Mike Martins, your handheld junkie. And I spent a whole week and a half, darn it was 2 weeks, I'll be honest with you guys. This game was tough to get off. I spent a week and a half / 2 weeks playing Zero Time Dilemma for the PS Vita. And man, do I have a story to tell you guys. They'll lose their memory every 90 minutes. The conclusion to the Zero Escape trilogy. 9 people find themselves trapped within an underground shelter. A mysterious figure in a mask appears before them and forces them to play the decision game. The only way to escape, 6 people must die. Who to kill? Who will survive? The fate of mankind rests on their decision. Dangerous life or death choices, captivating escape room puzzles. Mature 17 plus, blood, intense violence, sexual themes, and strong language. The story follows 9 people who are kidnapped by a masked person named Zero. They are divided into 3 teams and forced to play the death game called the decision game. The player takes the roles of 3 of the characters and plays through the chapters the story is made up of. These consist of animated cinematics, escape the room puzzles, and moral decisions for the player to make. The chapters represent 90-minute periods and can be played out of order. I'm speechless. I've never played anything like this in my life. I found this, I picked it up, it looked interesting, didn't hear too much about it. This game's a bizarro, incredible, intriguing, mind-twisted game that you really gotta look into or look outside of the box once in a while to think like either aka a psychopath, a delusionalized story creator, orchestrator, psychopath. So what am I saying psychopath? Well, a group of 9 people are kidnapped by this masked feller named Zero. They're put in this underground bunker in Nevada, in the middle of the desert. And each chapter consists of like these 90 minutes where the team gets basically knocked out every 90 minutes. I'll explain why later. So, it's obviously a choose-your-own-adventure. It's obviously a decision-making game. And it's obviously a puzzle kind of RPG. Kind of like a role-playing puzzle. You're playing the roles of these most of them are teenagers or young kids in their late teens and early 20s. And what happens is they want to play a game called the game. You know, it says right here, decision game. So they want to play the decision game. So it's interesting. So you start off. You start off in this underground shelter / bunker. Okay. You meet this guy named Zero, but this guy Zero, a lot of people don't know the mask he's wearing. A lot of people don't know this, but this is actually a historical mask that was actually used during the Black Plague, aka Black Death of England. It's a mask made with lining made of wax. It's this long beak, and this was used by kind of witch doctors that claimed they had a cure for the Black Death. And then they had these long masks. They would go to different houses and basically collect money and give them ointments to help them cure this Black Plague. And they believed that this was working as a gas mask for its time. So Zero's wearing one of those death plague gas masks from the 1700s, 1800s. It was bizarre. So he walks in and I was like, whoa, I was astonished. And the team doesn't get hostile with him or doesn't, swarm him or jump him. I mean, the odds of them taking him over are very good, but they don't. So what happens? He comes in, they wake up. Everybody, there's like 9 people in a room. So they're kind of talking to each other and how they got there. Buddy comes in and says, I'm going to flip a coin. Now, I'm going to flip this coin, and you're going to go heads or tails. So I guessed the right one, tails. The game ended right there, right at the beginning. They were left to go out, and they were walking, and then the game ended, and it went to credits. I'm like, I just started this thing. So I go back, start again. So you're allowed to kind of fast forward or go through different chapters. So I went back to that first chapter, and then I chose the other side of the coin because I already knew what the call was going to be. The call was called. Then it was, okay, now you've chosen wrong, which you're supposed to technically. And now we're going to play the game, the decision-making game. Fair enough. So you get divided into 3 teams of 3. Now, what happens is there's a message. Okay? There's C team, Q team, and D team. I think that is, yeah. And the shelter is divided into 3 major wards, okay? Or wings, if you want to call it. And the game gets really interesting because the second you start adding to conversations, choosing teams to eliminate, it starts to get interesting. And then there's Gab. Okay, Gab is a dog that's in the game that could pass through the ventilation system in the compound, and between the different wings of the compound to deliver messages in a little kind of like medicine pouch here. So they would deliver messages to each other to kind of basically try and survive the longest, or try and survive or out mastermind Zero, right? To out mastermind his I guess school of thought, I guess. Now, okay. You guys divide up. Now, you guys are playing each timeline at the same time other teams are playing their timeline. So you would start with, let's say, C team, okay? So in C team, you would have your three guys, and you guys are working together to either find in one of them you were stuck in some games room or some sort of like a games room, right? And you had to go through the roulette wheel to get the letters to put into the roulette wheel. Then you had to go to the craps table and then get the dice from the jukebox machine. So you have to do a lot of thinking and a lot of kind of touching and mixing things together too. You could mix things together. You could use the poker from the fireplace. There's all kinds of things you could do. And that's where it gets really technical. Finding out what's loose, what could be used, what could be dislodged to allow you to use with different and mix with different items to give you the answers you need. It's crazy. And I like it. I think the game itself requires a really good more attention, because I didn't even know this thing existed. Remember, guys, I just picked up a bunch of random games the other day, and I said, yeah, I'm going to give this a try. And that's what I've been doing. And you play individual timelines over with others at the same time. So when the dog, for example, you send a message with the dog through the ventilation system, and then when you go to Team Q, for example, you replay that whole timeline from the beginning as the other one, and after, you see the dog coming from the other side that you sent from the first timeline that you played from Q team, from C team, because you're playing Q team now. And then that timeline repeats itself for the D team. So then I'll give you an example. There's a scenario where you have to vote. You have to vote which team you want to terminate. And the first team that gets 2 votes gets basically exterminated. So they send the dog through, surprisingly, through the ventilation system to allow them to vote for basically C team votes for Q team votes for C team, and then D team votes for whatever. And then this way, each of them could have 1 vote each. You get what I'm saying? So they kind of outmaster him because, oh, then you guys got me here. very smart and blah 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 and cunning and blah 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 that you've managed to give each other one vote. You know what I mean? So that's how you play it out. But the relationships between the groups inside, like one of them, there's one girl, man, is she ever hot? Woo! What a hottie! And there, the game starts to get very interesting when you find the transporter device. That's when things start getting. I'm not going to spoil it, but you start bringing things through the past, and you start sending things into the past, and everything starts branching off into weird timelines. Let's just say someone has children in the game. Yeah, it's very interesting. Very, very, very interesting what happens in this facility. I don't want to get too in-depth with it. Like, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give too much of the game away because this game I have to sit down to kind of talk about it. It is a my way or the highway game. You kind of have to follow everything. You can't just get by on one of the locked rooms you're in by not collecting one of the clues. You have to get everything, and you have to unlock everything, and you have to potentially get everything done to advance. You just can't kind of scave by with kind of borderline. You know what I'm saying? But I could talk about this for forever. I've never played anything like this, guys. I really haven't. And I really got into this really deep because it makes you really think outside of, not only outside the box, but outside of the realm of thought. Let me know what you guys think. I'd like to know. Comment below. Thanks for watching. Hey, this is Mike Martins from the Handheld Junkie. Please like, subscribe, and share this video to support our transmission. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate the support. Look forward to reading your comments below, and comment below if there's a specific handheld game you want me to review. Thanks for watching.